This is the Business Breakfast on the UAE's #1 talk radio station.
Dubai Eye 103.8.
Back to school is the phrase of the day. That's certainly the theme of the show, and it is having knock-on effects across the city. We have just been highlighting the heavy traffic that we're seeing on day one of return to schools. This is despite the fact that many schools are going to have a bit of a staggered approach but to getting back into the swing of things. However, that is resulting in heavy traffic. We've already heard this morning from the team from Eros Group, as well as we've just been reporting in the headlines there, the COO of Eros Group telling us this morning that spending on back-to-school tech products weaker this year. His thinking, as many families bought new laptops and other devices during the pandemic. But what about the other budgetary restraints of back-to-school? Well, who better to ask than the team at noon.com? The senior manager for commercial at noon.com is Sid Choudhary, who's been kind enough to join us live in studio this morning. He's battled the traffic to join us here this morning. Sid, good morning to you.
Morning. Thank you for having me.
Listen, I've got the website open at the moment. No big surprise that back to school is a big one for noon.com, as it is for retailers across the world at the moment. I mean, before we get into the nitty-gritty, how important is noon.com from a retail's perspective for an organisation like noon.com?
Well, from a back-to-school perspective as well, it is very much an event for us. Noon.com has, over the past sort of 5 to 6 years, become a destination for sellers to really reach customers. We think, being a homegrown company, we think we are very well placed to cater to customers' needs, and sellers use noon.com as one of many avenues to reach customers across the region.
Offers. I have seen the offers running up in front of me at the moment. Is that key as well? Obviously, it's a very competitive market out there at the moment. Do you have to think about your offers when it comes to back to school at noon.com? And how do you go about sort of putting them together?
Absolutely. So affordability and being able to offer customers what they want at the right prices is very important for us. Our commercial teams work very hard, and they have been working over the past couple of months. We're very incredibly proud of the work they've done to get these offers for our customers. It's very important. There's obviously a huge push towards affordability right now across the world, and the work that these commercial teams have done has allowed us to get these offers for our customers.
Talk to me about business. How has business been in the last couple? Obviously, everyone's done all their back-to-school shopping weeks in advance. No one's left it to the last minute, have they, Deanie? Not anybody that we know, that's for sure. But how has traffic been for you online?
Well, like I said, back to school is more of a 1 month long event now. Obviously, starting with Saudi Arabia, who went back to schools a week earlier than usual. So it's from the end of July up until now, up until this morning as well, with our Noon Minutes product, where you can still get your back to school items within 15 minutes. It's been very positive. Actually, bigger than last year. We have seen a big spike compared to 2022, where we did see a little bit of a dip, obviously post-COVID. I think this year, across our marketplaces, we've seen a massive spike in the usual categories that you would expect.
Anything sort of jump off the page in terms of what's much in demand at the moment?
Compared to last year, we've seen a big uplift in Barbie-related back-to-school merchandise.
Can't imagine why.
Lunchboxes, stationery, water bottles, and pink in general, to be honest, across those categories. Interestingly, we've seen a big uplift in home office furniture as well. Then obviously tech, consumer tech, laptops, tablets, wearables as well. So the usual suspects.
Noon.com, obviously one of the most popular online sites as well. There's always been this sort of chat around back to school specifically. A lot of parents want to take their kids in to try out new uniform, to pick bits and pieces for their back to school experience. But you're suggesting there that the uptick in sort of online customers and things like that, more and more people are willing to go online to get the essentials for back to school.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, especially during COVID, customers had to get used to this, where they couldn't go in and physically purchase their items. I think that's made everyone a lot more comfortable with purchasing items online. I think in terms of having genuine products is very important for us. So our customers know that what they're getting will be genuine, and they're happy to do the shopping for their children online.
In terms of the spend, obviously we've seen that spike, and you mentioned that over the course of the last month, etc. as well. And we're making a big deal of back to school at the moment with good reason as well. But is there sort of steady investment into school-related items throughout the year?
There is, of course. I think back to school is one of those events that there's almost an abnormal spike, especially over the past couple of weeks. So there is obviously people always buying stationery. People are always looking for refreshment of their children's lunchboxes, water bottles, whatever it might be. Footwear as well is very popular. But I think from all the events that we have, it is the most topical and very focused on a couple of weeks of the year.
You highlighted that Saudi Arabia back to school a little bit earlier, with the academic year starting earlier than it is here in the UAE. Given your footprint across the GCC as well, are you seeing uptick in all markets at the moment?
Yeah, absolutely. So Saudi went back to school last week. That uplift started probably the last week of July, whereas for the UAE it started more first week of August. But that'll continue. We expect at least for another couple of weeks in those categories.
Catering here as well. Is that something that Noon.com will concur with, given the sort of interest that you're seeing online?
I don't know if I can comment about rise in population. We know how transient the UAE is as a place, but in terms of shopping trends, at least, we have seen an increase compared to last year. Whether that is customers buying more frequently, or it is a rise in population, I'm not 100% sure, but there is definitely, compared to last year, a significant uplift for the back-to-school period.
How do you, at Noon.com, stay ahead of the game? I mean, obviously with online e-commerce, online shopping, such a competitive market at the moment. How do you stay one step ahead of the competition?
There's a lot we do. Again, to make sure that our customers have the best possible experience. Firstly, we're aware of the events coming up over the next few months, even for the next year. So our teams start working very early to try and make sure that we have the right assortment at the right prices. We have some very valuable partners that we work with as well, the likes of in the past few months, we've introduced buy now, pay later platforms, namely Tabby and Tamara, again, making it easier for customers to shop. We recently launched our Noon One loyalty program, offering customers free delivery across all of our marketplaces for just 15 dirhams a month. So there's a lot that we do and a lot of different teams involved to make sure that we are always that one step ahead.
Listen, can't thank you enough. I know it's a busy day for you and the team. Back to school today here in the UAE. So thanks so much indeed for taking time out to come and see us here in studio. Promises to be a busy old year for Noon.com. Sid Choudhary joining us live in the studio. Sid, thanks so much indeed.
Thank you very much.